said that you and Joel have a hockey academy, and your age range is from 8 to 18. Obviously not all in the same pot, but maybe if you can describe a little bit more about junior hockey skills, and then how you came about thinking that mindset and mind coaching and all of that was a very important part of taking the player to the next level, and that's why I'm on board with you.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, I think you and I have actually been chatting for the better part of a year, trying to get to this point, and we're super excited to be chatting to you. Super excited for our players to have the opportunity to connect with you. Yeah. So over the last 7 years in the academy, having been in contact with hundreds of young players and their families, it's become increasingly obvious to us that there's a huge love for hockey within our community, and the players want to grow their hockey skill set, and they do so through various different organizations. But we spend a lot of time with the kids, all close contact. So when we're coaching, it's 1-on-1 or 2-on-1. So we really get to be quite connected with each of the players that we journey with. And we also have some quite deep conversations with them and their parents. And it's always a consistent feedback that they're wanting to become more confident, that they're wanting to be more able to focus on the field, make decisions. There's anxiety in some of the players, not just because of their age, even if they're slightly older. It's just, you all know, some people are just prone to being a little bit more anxious. Others are super confident, composed. But with hockey, composure is probably the key thing that we then see in the games that we play with them. That is a defining factor between those players that perform maybe even above their skill set and some players who tend to perform below their skill set. In other words, they can perform beautifully in training, great technical skills, great focus, athleticism, and the moment it gets into a game situation, they play in themselves and they play it safe, and they and they get frustrated with themselves and they're hard on themselves. So we just really want to take the next step with these players and say, how can we help them control the controllables? You know, they're going to find themselves in different teams with different coaches, and it's not always a perfect environment, but they, as they grow their hockey skills, also need to develop their interpersonal skills, their self-development skills, so that they can achieve not necessarily a higher status in province or South Africa, because it's not about that. It's about achieving to being the most competent player that you can be, so that you can enjoy your sport. It feeds into your life positively. It helps you socialize and increases and grows your love of the sport and of life. So that's what we would like to offer our players next year.
Yeah, and Sue, and I think, you know, one would say, well, how do you develop confidence? And I think that's where my job comes in. And what I do is I help people develop a vocabulary to explain how they're feeling or what's going on for them.
Yeah.
And it's in that understanding that, for example, we're going to use something with the youngsters called Gazing Red2Blue. So it's helping people perform under pressure. And so some really high achievers, they walk towards pressure and they love pressure. And others don't love that feeling so much. But even the people that walk towards pressure and thrive in that environment, they need skills in order to manage the pressure. And step one is understanding where the pressure is coming from. So is it coming from myself? Is it coming from my coach? Is it coming from my teammates? Don't I feel good enough?
Yeah.
And it's really just accepting that that's what it feels like. And then part of the process of the Gazing Red2Blue is to give people steps and strategies to manage that they are in the moment, that their mindset is not a negative dialogue of what was before and what could be. Because if your mind is behind or in front, you're not present.
Yeah.
So you're not in the moment.
Yeah.
And so that is our goal next year, is to add the Gazing Red2Blue technique into the hockey academy, so that the players that are joining are better equipped, that they are able to communicate to their own teammates what works for them, how to be so they can be the best version of themselves, and then understanding how their teammates can be the best version of themselves. At the end of the day, it's a team sport.
Yeah. Joe, yeah, awesome. That, I mean, yeah, I think obviously from my side, I understand a fair amount of the program, but I think for those of your followers and our followers who are joined now live, maybe we can just go back a step and just if you can talk a little bit about your journey. I mean, you and I first met on a hockey turf back in Stellenbosch. So, you know, you're a great hockey player, excellent talent. You had your own hockey journey. But in terms of your background in sports psychology and maybe some of the people you've worked with, some of the teams you've worked with, I think it would be relevant for some of the listeners to know a little bit about that.
Okay, thank you. So, part of if I can use some of the athletes that I've worked with is I did work with the SA ladies hockey team, and we did Clifton Strengths, where they did a psychometric assessment and each player did an assessment, and then I had access to all their strengths, so I worked with them individually and then as a team. And so that was, again, it's so that the coaches and the management and everybody within the team understands how that player thinks and why they do things the way they're doing it. And so in a team environment, it's being able to understand, this is how I can be the best version of myself, but I understand that my teammate behaves like that because they've got other things going on. So it was a very effective way to reduce conflict within a team and to make them the best that they could be. I've also worked a lot with individual sports. So I've been working with Sunshine Ladies golfers.
Yeah.
And on a golf course, you can't be focused for 5 hours. So it's being able to zoom out and zoom in when it counts. It's being able to be focused in the moment and not looking at the scoreboard or not trying to let go of what's happened in the last bunker or whatever the case may be. It's looking at distractions like people you don't like playing with, or chirps, or social media interaction, all that type of thing. It's managing all the disruptions and interferences, which happen to all sports people. And you know what? It's happening to so many youngsters today. So the teens, it's very clear. So the Red2Blue is a great technique just to also manage those feelings and how you deal with that. I'm working with one springboard diver who's in the States. She's her name is Julia Vincent. She's a South African diver, and she's dived 2 Olympic Games, and she'll be diving again in August. And you know, that's like split second stuff. It's about being in the moment for a second or two. But if you're not in the moment, things can go wrong and you can physically get injured. So that's really critical. I'm working with another diver, an up-and-coming diver called Zaleka Matula. Her nickname is Z, and she's a phenomenal diver, and she really benefits it. She actually sometimes phones me during competition just to help bring the revs down, get her head into a blue clear space. She's got the tools, but sometimes as a youngster, she just needs to be reminded of how to get back on track. And then I've had another athlete that I've worked with in an equestrian situation where she does gymnastic vaulting on a horse. And again, that routine is very quick, and you can't be distracted because the result of being distracted is injury. So I've had the opportunity to work with a variety of people. But I think what's key with the Red2Blue is they've been able to use it on the sports field, but at exam time, they can also use these skills in exam time. So that's a really critical tool, which I think everybody will benefit from. So I find it the most practical tool with the people that I work with.
Okay, cool. Just to sort of get into the little bit of the detail here, the idea is that we will have 6 weeks, 6 modules, maybe 7, but we think 6 at this stage. Can you maybe give a little bit of an overview, a little bit of what you'll cover module by module, and also sort of the format? We're going to do it online so that the kids can log in once a week for an hour connect with you and then go through the program, increase their skills and develop in that period.
Yeah.
We've early February so that they can get skills in before and as hockey season is kicking off with trial elections, and so that they really are cemented down as they get into the 2024 season. So yeah, I'll leave it with you to explain about the overview and the content.
So thank you, Sue. So the first module will be, we are planning on having only 10 per group, because I think that will be the best way that we can manage a group. So the first one will be an introduction into Red2Blue, which will be a bit of a theory, so that they understand the theory behind Red2Blue. And
so
then,
just on that, Red2Blue is an international company that
yes,
focuses on sports psychology.
you can have a look on www.gazing-red2blue, and it's red the color and 2 the number and blue the blue. So you can have a look at that and you can get more information on that. So it's a UK-based company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you.
And yeah, so then the tools that we will develop after that will be, so the first session I'll do the introduction, and then each module after that I'll have a specific tool which I'll introduce, and then it's a practical skill that they need to unpack of their own experiences to make it live. And also by sharing with each other, it's not sharing secrets. By sharing together, they can grow and understand together how their situation is not necessarily different, that others may experience it slightly differently or the same, and then how to use it. And then the last session I'm going to get is going to be a Zoom with the people from the UK, and we're going to have them. They are more advanced coaches, and they're going to do like a summary and a finish off of the program, which I think will be very insightful and profound. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I know, it sounds amazing. We were chatting about it, and my one son, who's 18 and plays hockey, was like, Mom, I want to do that, you know. And it was quite interesting for me because ironically I haven't had too many conversations with him about his mental approach, because he's kind of does his own thing. But he then after that said to me, Mom, there are times when like I just feel like I want to be more prepared, or be more mindful and take it to the next level. So even after playing hockey for years and years, excited to put his name down to join your course or our course. So that was interesting for me. And also we had a function with all of our JHS coaches, and these are, you know, 14 guys and girls who play hockey across the province, and mostly at quite a high level, and some of our coaches are even SA players, and they were all like, wow, like we the team, like we really want to do that. And I just love the fact that, you know, as we opening up and as we're talking about things more, people then feel confident enough and secure enough. I want to be. So when you provide this opportunity, people can come out and say, yes, I'd like to be part of that, and I do want to grow. It's an amazing chance for hockey players to do just.
You know, it's absolutely. See, I've only actually worked mainly. I've worked with adults, the more, you know, the more senior players, and then Z, who's the diver, was my first school going child, and then just word of mouth. It's been the youngsters are wanting to do it more and more, and our problem was time. Like, when could we you know, meet them when they're not at school, etc., etc. So this is such a phenomenal thing that you can get a gathering of youngsters, that we can get this over to them, and then they can use it appropriately. But, you know, like, and even senior players, if you look at hockey and you look at, you've got the 8-second, the showdowns, and it's in that moment that you have to have your confidence, your anxiety has to be low, and it's these skills that you can develop, that you've practiced them, you've rehearsed them. And I don't mean the technical skills. The technical skills is for the coach and you. It's the mindset is a skill, and we're going to coach your mindset just like you coach, just like you practice a drag flick, just like you practice anything else. We're going to train the mindset just as like that as a skill, so that if you're walking up to the ball and someone chirps you, and before it would have thrown you off course. It's just a deflection, and you know how to zoom out, you know how to reset, you know how to zoom back in. Those are the skills that we're going to teach you.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can use them in anything in life.
So,
but we keep practicing. It's not like once you've got it, you've got it. You've got to keep practicing it.
And I think the great thing about what we're going to be able to offer, you know, with all your experience in sport, different aspects, but also with us being very focused on, you know, hockey, you've got children who play hockey, you've spoken a lot of hockey. It's going to be very about skills in general, but then practically how do they play out on the field, and how do these players use it for hockey within our base, water polo players and other things. But it's really nice for it to add a specific focus. Skills can help their hockey. I really like that you, a hockey player, with all the experience, be there to guide them through it. So it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Sue. Yeah, I look forward to it. And I think if people have got questions, they can message us, me or you. And then I think you're going to have a link available this evening, right? If people want to sign up, see more, find out more about it, etc.
So we will pop information or two up on both our Instagram pages with the sign up, the pricing, the content, and sort of the date. And then also 8th January, we'll be having a parents information evening where we've invited significant players within the arena are invited to chat and about the things important to offer to our players for our players the next season, just adding more to sport. And I think at that evening as well, Joe, it'll be a away from our first session. People will have signed up. Some will be signing up if they can with you and chat to you on this topic and have that face-to-face gathering in January.
Great. I look forward to that, Sue. And I look forward to, please, as I say, anybody send us messages or questions. And we look forward to launching this in 2024.
So it's going to be great excitement. I really think it'll be something that hopefully we continue to do. And I know our players are super, they're so dedicated, they're such super firecracker players. They're definitely wanting to connect with you. And we'll have.
Yeah. And that, Sue, that's what I experienced with the youngsters. They're like a sponge, and they really want to know. They want to get the edge. Because the thing is that you've practiced all your skills, you've set all your goals, you've done all the structures, etc. And the one thing that can either help or hinder you is your mindset. So that's it's a key, and it's a wonderful skill to have.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, listen, enjoy your break, Joe, and thanks to all the people that have been following and listening along. It was great to have you with us this afternoon, and we'll send out the info.
Okay, Sue, take care.
Bye,
have a good
everyone.
Christmas. Cheers, bye.